Cheers and welcome my friends, I'm Horath Drak and we are playing Rimworld Alpha 14 on extreme difficulty as the Darkmoon Slavers. Welcome, I'm really glad that this series is finally happening. Now what is Rimworld? Rimworld is a colony simulator. Think Dwarf Fortress meets Prison Architect meets Firefly. There's a fiction primer that you can read. Basically the idea up until now was that 3 people crash land on a planet on the rim of civilized space, on the edge of civilized space. There's lots of interesting stuff going on, so there's actually kind of a pessimistic idea behind the whole faction background, which basically states that because there's no faster than light travel, there are no big empires. They're just a couple of smaller units, couple of worlds, maybe a couple of systems that band together, but there's no galactic empire, and that leads to a process where worlds develop very differently, and it can happen, and does actually happen pretty frequently, that people kill themselves because they can't manage to control their nuclear potential. Then they fall back into sort of a barbaric time, into the apocalypse, and then there are glitter worlds that have a very high level of development. Some worlds seem to achieve some sort of ascendancy, which basically puts them into some other plane of existence, and all these things exist at the same time. So it is a very interesting background. I have created something because Alpha 14 now allows different starting scenarios. So you can still start with the classic one with 3 people that crash land on one of those rim worlds that are very uncivilized, sort of a Wild West thing. That's why I mentioned the Firefly. You can play the rich explorer, so starting with 1 people instead of 3 and having a lot of research and stuff with you. Or you can start as a tribes people. All these people can exist on the same planet, and in fact you're always going to have tribes, you're going to have pirates, and you're going to have sort of colonists on a Rimworld that you play. But you can also go custom, and I actually have started a custom scenario because I want to start with as many of my subscribers as possible, because I ran an enlistment video earlier 2 weeks ago when I thought that I would do a series on this, and 29 people have actually enlisted, which makes me really happy. I'm so glad that you did. I have randomized that list, and I'm gonna pick from you for colonists or for people that we capture and so on, or if people die and we have to replace them, then I'm gonna pick from the list. If you want to be in this game, then leave a comment, and when I've run out of people that enlisted prior to the series, I'm gonna pick you on a first come first serve basis. So what is our background? You can just pause and read this, or you can just listen to me. I'm gonna tell you what's actually happening. So I made a custom scenario, and the idea behind is that we are playing a mixed group of pirates and of slaves. The Darkmoon Slavers are sort of a notorious, infamous band of slavers that has, or band of pirates that earn their money mostly through slavery. They've been plaguing the Outer Rim, the Rim worlds, for decades or even centuries. And one of their ships has been shot down over a real hellhole of a planet, attacked by a rival pirate group, maybe. Something shot them down. And a couple of those guys escaped, and they also managed to take some of their slaves with them. They have basically been shot down while they were gathering livestock to sell. So we're going to start with 10 people as compared to the classic 3, the 1 for the rich explorer, or the 5 of the lost tribe. But we're going to balance this out. You can you could say that 10 people is somewhat of a starting advantage, but the place that we drop down on is a real hellhole. We're going to have a permanent eclipse, so we won't be able to use any solar power, and even more importantly, nothing will grow on this planet. Nothing will grow without light. So having no light will means that we have to light it with electric lighting. Maybe put up a sun lamp or something, or go for hydroponics. We're going to have permanent flash storms, which is basically thunderstorms, lightnings striking the region randomly all the time, which is really, really bad. And we're going to have a volcanic winter. So the atmosphere is choked with volcanic particles, significantly reducing the amount of light. Okay, we don't care about that, but temperatures will be colder and plants will grow slower. So even if we manage to light stuff and build structures that can't be destroyed by the flash storms, we still have to be very careful with how we deal with growing and stuff. So food will be our number one priority. We're going to start with 10 people. Each of those people will have the abrasive trait. You can actually force traits on all your guys. So you could, for example, also decide to play a cannibalistic tribe that eats the enemies or something. There's a lot of variety. If you have a look into the scenario editor and you want to edit this, you can give yourself stuff, you can take stuff, you can forbid things, you can force health conditions, force traits, and you can also, like I did, give some permanent map conditions. So Solar Flare, for example, disables all electric devices. Toxic Fallout, if you want to see how that works, then you might want to have a look at Quill18's Fallout. Quill18's Lone Survivor series of Rimworld that he put out a couple of days ago. This game is in early access, by the way. Since Alpha 14 it has been released on Steam, so that might be something that's useful to know. So we're gonna have these three things. We could edit this. I will upload this to the Steam Workshop so you can play the same scenarios I do, which should be fun. And yeah, every one of our people will have abrasive, which basically means that they're gonna piss off each other. And I find them very fitting because pirates are normally not the nicest people. And the slaves might also not be too happy about being slaves. So that's the thing. And that is what we start with. So we have the standard amount of silver. We have a lot more packaged survival meals than the normal start, which just does have 30 packaged survival meal. But the thing is, under these conditions, and bearing in mind that we have 10 people, these every person needs to eat 2 times a day, so that lasts for 7 days, right? We need 20 food per day with 10 people. And we have to research really, really fast to get some tech to help us grow food under these circumstances. So that's going to be a very interesting thing. Our 6 pirates are going to have power armor, power helmet, charge rifles and sniper rifles. The slaves will not get any weapons. And yeah, the question is, how will the pirates deal with that situation? Are they going to let the slaves join? Are they going to free them? Or are they going to kill them, maybe to save some food if the slaves can't pull their weight? I tend to play a lot of those dark scenarios. I've been playing the great old ones in Stellaris and all that, but I think it makes for interesting stories as long as you can still care about the characters. And that is what comes next. So after selecting our scenario over here, we get to the next really cool thing that Rimworld has, and that is an AI storyteller, which creates events like pirate raids, resource drops, or animal attacks. And that is a really cool concept that actually makes this game very, very suited for Let's Playing, because something is always happening, and I can kind of react instead of creating those situations myself. There are 3 types of storytellers. So Cassandra Classic is just someone who will create a steadily increasing curve of challenge. Then we have Phoebe Chillax, which gives you some more time between disasters and stuff. But if you put her on a high level of difficulty, she still will hit as hard as anyone, it says. And then you have Randy Random. You can see that he's got the smiley face over here and the evil face down there. This guy will bombard you with a bad event that can completely destroy you, and then he's gonna send you some money and some food or something. It can be completely random and can cause hilarious outcomes. But since we are so heavily punished with the circumstances on the map, I'm going to go for Cassandra Classic, and we're gonna go for Extreme as always, because it's kind of what I do, playing on the highest difficulty. So this is as hard as a diamond-bladed dagger. Enemies are strong, prices are poor, food is scarce, and colonists are grumpy for those who enjoy digital suffering. And I think actually that our pirates, our slavers, should suffer a bit. You can create a world out of a seed. We're going to go for the seed Darkmoon. And if you want to play on the same map as I do, then please feel free to do that. And we're going to go for a slightly bigger map. Keep in mind that does also change stuff, so select that if you want to play the exact same game as I do. So let's go. So we are now on the world Presipua Azimek. Interesting. Now if you've played Dwarf Fortress, you already know this mode. We basically have to select where we want to drop down. I guess we do have some kind of agency after getting into our escape pods. There are different map modes, like you can have a look at the biomes. There are deserts, there is ice sheets, there are boreal forests. One thing that you might want to know is that there are other people on this thing. So the green dots over here are tribes people. The blue dot represents a normal colonist town, and the red dots over here and over here, they represent pirates, pirate bases. I'm not sure why they would want to be in this hellhole. These are the bloody crushers, okay, and these are the burning society. And then we do have the thieves village. Oh, that doesn't sound too promising. We got the Kuro of the cliff. And we do have these people, the Benastra of the river, out by the sea. Okay. So what do we want to do? You can also sort by rainfall and sort by temperature, all those things. So we want to go for something with a mountain, because if we are outside when the thunderstorms hit, we're gonna have a bad time. That has a never growing temperature. It's very growing period. It's very, very cold. This goes from 1st of summer to 11th of summer. That's still incredibly cold. Yeah, if you, I guess I should say that the game had months in the earlier alphas, but now it does have 15 days per season. So you got 15 days of summer, then you got 15 days of fall, 15 days of winter, and so on. So you can kind of orient yourself with what is happening. Marble and granite, at least 11 days of growing time. 11th of spring until the 1st of fall. I'm kind of looking for some mountainous terrain. Flat, no, that's not good. Mountainous, granite and marble. 1st of summer, 11th of summer. I don't think I get a longer growing period, but it doesn't really matter because we have to do something artificial anyways. So this is going to be the place where we go down. You can have some advanced options, and indeed I want to have kind of a bigger map. So we're gonna go for that one. Yeah, performance made it great. Whatever. You can go to Ludionicrus over here, the Lord more cells. But I think that's going to be fine. 325 times 325 times tiles. So that's good. Let's close that one. Did it stick? Yes, it did. Okay, let's select the site. Yeah, that's the one we want. Okay, boreal forest, mountainous. We're going to have granite and marble, which is good. And these are our colonists. And I am going to pause the recording. You can randomize your colonists to see if you can get someone else with the skills. And I have kind of a specific setup in mind for my 6 pirates and for my four slaves. So I'm just gonna pause the recording, fill all that stuff in, and then I'm gonna lead you through the people that are going to start with us on this adventure. So see you in a minute. Alright, so we're back. I finished randomizing these people until I had the people I wanted and also naming them. So the minus behind the name means they are a pirate. That is something that I need to help me. I don't have a lot of characters to name them, so there's a certain amount of characters I can use, so I had to shorten some of you. Just gonna go through these guys very quickly. So the first one is Merkpot, our first pirate. Your female colonist, age 25, but your chronological age is 474 years, the number in bracket. So you spend a good amount of your time either traveling between systems or maybe in a cryptosleep casket or something. You're lazy, that's not good. You're working slower, and all you can do is basically shoot. You have had a childhood as a frightened child. You grew up with a laundry list of phobias and neuroses. You feared, among other things, doctors and foodborne pathogens. As a result, you learned to cook and care for yourself, but many of your fears dog you in adulthood. Firefighting disabled. Okay. Well, you can't cook either, because then you started to be a sheriff. You were the law enforcer in an isolated industrial town. You were known for having an arrogant attitude and a mean streak. You refused to lift so much as a finger unless it was for money, alcohol, or revenge. And seeing that you're also lazy, I think that is what got you fired as a sheriff. And then you joined the pirates. I think that is how that went. Then we got Hellhole, Hellhole Gaming, one of my YouTuber friends. You're 16, so you're very young. Your childhood was spent as a refugee. War broke out in your home when you were a baby. Your parents fled with you, seeking safety where they could find it. Your earliest memories are of being taught how to defend yourself. Violence and destruction you witnessed left you scarred for life. Well, and then you went to join the pirates. That's not very nice. And somehow you managed to spend your adulthood as a medieval lord. Because remember, all stages of civilization exist on the worlds in this galaxy, because due to there being no faster than light travel, no big galactic empire could establish itself. So you have medieval worlds, you have high-tech worlds, you have very low-tech worlds, and you have those Rimworlds that are basically barbarism and Wild West. So you were a lord on a pre-industrial planet. You went to parties, managed the underlings, and learned some swordplay. Ooh. Your soft hands did not hold a work tool during that entire time. You consider manual labor to be beneath you. That's not good, but you are really good in social and in fighting, so that's basically what I was going for. Oh, and you are gay. Okay, is anyone else gay? Doesn't look like it, so it might be difficult to find a mate for you, but I'm sure we can do that. And as everyone, you are abrasive, so yeah, let's see how that goes. You lived quite a life with your 16 years. Okay, then we got Enderun, our sergeant. I'm glad I could make you a sergeant. You spent your childhood as a gun kid. You grew up in an herb world and had never had it easy. Every day was a struggle and pollution, hunger and gangs of older kids. In the little space that you had to yourself, you studied your passion, guns, combat tactics and war history. Alrighty, and after that you became an herb world sergeant. Your passion for all things militaristic kept with you all the way to adulthood. After enrolling as a local policeman, you were soon promoted to sergeant. And I think at some point you decided to run away and join the pirates, maybe for loss of power. You're a slowpoke, so you're moving slower than other people. And you are really, really old. Holy crap. Maybe you deserted. Maybe you desert the Herb sergeants. You're now a sergeant of the pirates, but you are on the one hand really young and on the other hand really old. And you are the son of Sol and Sly, but we'll get to that in a bit. You're also a pirate. And we got Spotnik, another pirate. You're already 72. You were a cult child, born into a powerful cult which shunned advanced technology and believed that all illness could be cured by cleansing the soul through sacred art. After your first glimpse of the outside world, you decided to run away. Okay. And then you also became a sheriff, and I think because you were a psychopath, people at some point caught on to your ways. And yeah, they kicked you out of office, so you joined the pirates to take revenge maybe, or just find some people that were equally crazy. So that's kind of your thing. You can't really do anything except for art, tending to animals and kill people. Well, there's going to be lots of killing in this game, so you're going to be good. Then we've got Gungeon, another pirate. You were a foundry apprentice. You grew up as an apprentice in the foundries of an industrial world. This experience gave you metalworking skills and strong muscles, but stunted your artistic development. Yeah, that's kind of to be expected. And then you became a combat engineer. You built bases, fixed guns, and repaired vehicles for the army when you weren't shooting at people, that is. You're also really good at killing and good at constructing. That's going to be very helpful. And you're very neurotic. Neurotic means that people break down faster, but they also work 40% faster. So that's actually kind of a good thing. And then we got Sol and Sly. If you might remember Sol and Sly from my Distant World series. Sol and Sly was an admiral there, crucial in the defeat of the Cascadon Empire, of the evil Cascadons, and I imagine that he found out that his son, Enderon over here, the gun kit World Sergeant, joined the pirates, and he tried to get back to him, to get his son back. You can see that he is even older, 2,698 years old chronologically. Biologically, you're only 44 years old, but you're really old. I think you still... Maybe they froze you after the victory over the Cascadons, and you woke sometime later. But in any case, you tried to get your son out of the pirates, and instead the pirates took you as a slave. You got a green thumb, so you're going to be good at growing in some form or fashion. I'm not sure how much growing we can do, but yeah, you're here. And you are a slave, the first slave that we have. Then we got G. Bandak. Oh yeah, that should be different. Yeah, that's right. And oh, the R also has to go. I'm sorry. Okay, so George Bandak. So that's what G stands for. You're 48. You were a displaced noble born on Rimworld to the ruler of 3 megacities. G. Bandak's prospects look good until a violent insurrection overthrew her family. Exile introduced G. Bandak to hard work and combat, but some highborn squeamishness remains. So you can't do dumb labor, which is kinda shitty. You can't haul, you can't clean, and you can't cut plants. You can, however, do some research, and as an adult you became a minister. You managed to secure an important position in the government of a minor glitter world. So glitter worlds are the most advanced planets that still have contact with other people. You got used to the opulence while attempting to keep your citizens content. You had ample time for pleasure and indulgence, though you never forgot how to do hard work. So yeah, you can still do some things. I mean, all things considered, you are not a useless person. At some point, it seems that the whole minister thing didn't really work out that much for you. I guess you're some kind of a pirate leader, pirate kingpin maybe. You're a slowpoke, so you're moving slower. And you're neurotic, so you work faster, but you also break faster. Oh well. Then we got Desert Zero, another slave. You were a shelter child. You grew up in a shelter deep beneath a toxic world. So basically the Fallout scenario, you received a comprehensive education but had no opportunity to do physical labor. And you became a Glitterworld surgeon. You worked as a surgeon on a world mostly free of disease and human suffering. Your job mostly involved elaborate and creative cosmetic surgeries. You had a good understanding of human biology but never had to remove a cancer or a bullet. Okay. That's interesting. You're incapable of nothing. You're going to be very useful. And you're a slave, and I think it's pretty obvious why the pirates captured Desert Zero, because having a surgeon, I imagine surgeons sell for a lot of money. You're psychically sensitive. That's going to suck. And you're also neurotic. Holy crap. Yeah, let's just hope that we don't get any psychic drones, because you are going to be the first person to flip out. Got a bite scar, but nothing major. Then we got Deslock. Sorry, Deslock Rising didn't fit. You are a captured slave as well. You are beautiful because you were a vet-grown, or you are a vet-grown slave girl. You were vet-grown as a slave in an illegal herbal laboratory. As a young child, you were taught only to cook, clean, and serve your masters. For most of your childhood, you knew nothing else. And quite fittingly, you became an Herbworld sex slave. You were sold into sexual slavery, having been designed to be inhumanly attractive and too weak to rebel against your masters. You were passed between dozens of owners and knew nothing of freedom. And that fate seems to continue. I imagine that you came out here to the rim with maybe a master down on his luck. Or maybe you were just sold by someone who needed the money. But in any case, you've been picked up by the slavers. You're beautiful, so people like you. You're exceptionally beautiful with an exotic yet familiar facial structure and an arresting gaze. People are attracted to you before you even open your mouth. Alright, you can do lots of things. You can't do violent, you can't do intellectual. That's fine. And finally we got almost 87. You were an aspiring pop idol. So you were being trained in song and dance to become the next big pop idol. You grew up being taken care of by company handlers. You never knew about manual labor, but learned a lot about music and social etiquette. So that is something like a K-pop idol, I guess. And you grew up to be a pop idol, so you actually made it. You performed and did interviews constantly. You refined your skills in dancing and singing and became a master of social presentation. You can't do much. You can do social, which is recruit people and do some haggling and stuff. And you're beautiful. And I think it's quite obvious why the pirates captured you, because you can sell a pop idol for a lot of money, even if the pop idol is already 62. So these are the people that we have. Let's start the game, actually. It's generating the map. Okay, so this is our intro dialogue. While hunting for livestock, slaves among the planets of the Outer Rim, a ship of the infamous Darkmoon Slavers has been shot down. A handful of the pirate crew, together with some of their merchandise, managed to get to the escape pods before their ship blew up. They crash landed on the dark side of this god-forsaken moon, left to die by their attackers. Will they manage to escape, or will they perish to the hostile elements of this moon? How will they deal with their surviving slaves? Offer them freedom in exchange for cooperation? Maybe even letting them join the Darkmoons? Or will they get rid of their burden one way or another? Join me and find out. And that is basically going to be what is happening here. This is a dark place with a lot of dark people. And with that said, I'm going to end the episode here. So next episode we're going to have a look around. We're going to start mining, start doing things, getting our bearings. But yeah, for now I'm going to end it here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give this episode a like. It is especially appreciated in the first episode of a playlist, because that helps it rank higher in search rankings, also shares and stuff. It's always appreciated. If you didn't like it, or if you have anything else to tell me, please leave a comment. Also leave a comment if you want to be a colonist in here. And if you want to see more of the series in the future, if you want to know how the Darkmoon Slavers actually get out of the situation, if they manage to flee by building a ship, or if they get horribly killed by the environment, then please consider subscribing to the channel. Hope you join me next time for the next episode. Thanks and bye bye.